Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Jackson County Stage Company's virtual holiday showcase. My name is Brandon McGee, and I'm the Vice President for Productions for the Stage Company, as well as your MC for tonight's festivities. Now, with everything going on in the world and live theater being put on hold, we thought it would be a good idea to bring you a virtual holiday showcase, just to spread some extra holiday cheer. So tonight, we'll be featuring a variety of songs, stories, poetry, and greetings from some familiar Jackson County Stage Company members and friends. So what do you say we get started? First up tonight, we have Samantha Ridenauer. Now you may recognize Samantha from No Bones About It, which was the Stage Company's Season 36 musical performance. Tonight, Samantha will be singing I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm. So take it away, Samantha.
The snow is snowing, the wind is blowing, but I will weather the storm. Why do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I can't remember a worse December. Watch those icicles fall. Why do I care if icicles form? I've got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my glove. I need no overcoat, I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire, the flame grows higher, but I will weather the storm. Why do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my glove. I need no overcoat, I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire, the flame grows higher, but I will weather the storm. Why do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me. I've got my love to keep me. I've got my love to keep me warm.
Doesn't she have a great voice? Awesome job, Samantha. Coming up next, Mike Laker, another familiar Stage Company face, will be presenting his rendition of a holiday classic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Take it away, Mike.
You know, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Thank you, Mike. That was certainly a very entertaining performance. Coming up next, we would like to welcome some special guests from John A. Logan College as they present a song that reflects on Decembers of past and present. So please, help me in welcoming the John A. Logan College Choir as they present Remembering December.
I'm remembering December in the quiet of the
Once again, that was the John A. Logan College Choir. We would like to thank them for lending their voices to tonight's virtual holiday showcase. Now, coming up next, through the miracle of modern technology, which we seem to be using a lot these days, we are going to welcome an old friend of the stage company. Steve Falcone is here from the comfort of his own home to bring us some of his own Christmas stories. Take it away, Steve.
Hello, everyone. This is Steve Falcone, reading to you for the stage company Christmas show. I have a few Christmas pieces that I've written over the years, and I thought I'd like to share them with you. Stay with me. The boat's a little rocky here, but we will prevail. This first one is a piece I wrote a long time ago. It's called Gloucester's Christmas Goose. Actually, originally was written to and done on stage at John A. Logan College with Paula Willig and her wonderful signing class. So it was performed for hearing and deaf people, which I'm always very proud of. But it is very much a holiday. It starts the holiday season. And it's called Gloucester's Christmas Goose. Gloucester was a little king, but he knew where duty lay. He knew what his people needed. He hardly had to walk the withered streets to see how lean his people had become. Oxen thin as goats, folk as thin as cudgels, while the cottages looked like they'd lost some ground. Gloucester shook his tiny head, one hand upon his crown, and wondered when they'd all just fade from sight. Hunger has a way of making kings fear the worst. He wondered even now if he were really seeing things. Hunger has a way of playing on the eyes. He saw the tarnish in his crown and shook his weary head. He sighed and wrapped his tattered cloak more tightly round about him. His royal breath blew thin upon the winter. He took as big a stride as strength allowed. Enough, enough of this, King Gloucester hissed. Through his little beard, royal steam escaping from his temples. This king had had as much as he could take. His Highness felt that things could go no lower. Any lower must be underneath them. His people had to eat. The holiday was coming. Gloucester knew he had to do his duty. A feast, he cried into the wind, before he knew the words had left him. He saw them bounding merrily about the little village. Here and there, through icy air, he heard his words ring in the kingdom. He knew no way he could recall it. A feast, the smithy sang, his voice loud as his anvil. In no time at all, every horse in the stall had a set of shoes stuck upon him. The smithy stood smacking his chops by the fire. Work gave him a wondrous hunger. What's that? What's that? The cobbler cried, hand to his ear intently. His old knees buckled at the bench. His hands found shoes for mending. Zip, zip, snip, snip, the cobbler went, now stitching with a relish. He licked his lips with every stitch. He felt the rumble in his belly. Lots of room there for feasting. Hip, 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 the baker cried. Rising from his oven, he peeked inside and sighed and sighed. Inside there was just nothing. But the word he'd heard had stirred him with hope, swelled him with a sense of mission. His eyes went to his little king and waited there for orders from the oven. All eyes turned to good King Gloucester, then back to the baker. The vision of a kingdom hung upon the oven. The hungry hopes of all his subjects pinned to poor King Gloucester. Little King just shook his head and stared down at his buckles. Still those eyes with hopes of pies hovered up above him. He felt the heat of dreams of meat warming to a fire. He heard the rumbling of those tummies alive with roast desires. He was a king who knew his duty, knew it to the letter. He knew the reason. It was Christmas, time for fowlish feasting. He knew then what he had to do, what was expected of him. A goose, he cried up to the sky, wondering where, oh where, to get one. Now Gloucester was a worried king as well as awfully hungry. He walked the streets and heard them sing, his subjects at their toil. He knew their heads were filled with dreams of geese hot from the oven. He knew nobody listened now to those old tummies grumbling, for everyone had heard the word to stuff their hunger. He saw them with their knives and forks tucked into their pockets, ready at a moment's notice, prepared for juicy feasting. As soon as someone said the word, they'd all be at the oven, plates up for a portion. Goose. He wished he'd never said it. A silly word, it fit him well. He wished he could be eaten. Where was he to get a goose, a bird to feed his kingdom? All the fowl had long since fled. Townsfolk had their feathers. They hadn't seen a goose in ages, hadn't seen a chicken. He went and stood behind a horse. He hoped he'd get a kicking. The poor horse was too weak to kick. Gloucester saw he would have to kick his own pants. Pluck himself up and get moving. He fitted an arrow into his bow and stalked to the woodland with purpose. But purpose is too thin to eat. Gloucester knew he couldn't shoot it. He kept his eyes locked on the sky, but darkness came before a goose did. He watched the sun fall in a big shiny ball and thought of new buttered potatoes. He watched the moon rise silver into the skies and thought of rice pudding for after. But where was the beast for the platter? Gloucester brought his eyes back to his buckles. He gave a deep sigh and thought he might cry, but knew that he really mustn't. Duty was his, alas, and duty he'd do by God if it took the whole evening. Hand back to his bow, eyes out for game, he buckled himself up and waited, and waited, and waited, till long after royal eyes could stay awake any longer. Down, down the lids fell, as the little head drooped, and the tired king went to snoring. While the rest of the forest was wide awake, King Gloucester took to his slumber. He'd done all the duty he could, but he tried. An effort does not go unnoticed. As the little king slept, his chin on his breast, he never saw the skies open. But they did. And out of them floated a marvelous bird, a goose just as big as a donkey, though donkeys, of course, don't have wings. But this bird surely did have wings of great size that fluffed down toward the forest. The great goose was falling, shot through the heart, pierced with a golden arrow. It spiraled and plunged and clung to the earth with a thud that awoke the whole kingdom, all but the sleeping King Gloucester. The whole town poured out with a singular shout. Goose was the sound that sang through the forest, and goose it was all the way back to town. Like a chant, it wound up to the oven. By the time the great goose was carted to town, she'd already been plucked and basted. By the time she was browning within the great oven, tables were laid for the feasting. So little time was this kingdom wasting. Back in the forest, all was still dark, save the soft moon in its quiet. Sounds all around were so different from town. A sleeping king need not awaken. So Gloucester slept on, dreaming little king dreams, while the shouts from town never reached him. Duty was done, was what the sound said, for the people were hailing their hero. Gloucester, they sang up to the rooftops, where the little king slept, chin on his breast, his little bow laid beside him. His mark had been true, as everyone knew, for his poor heart had made every effort. An effort is always rewarded.
Thank you, Steve. It's always so great to hear from you. Coming up next, we have a performance by Derek Hamblin. Now, Derek has helped the stage company out with a variety of musical projects, from music directing the stage company's musical of I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change, to writing custom music for the stage company's Spooky Saturdays with the Stage Company, which aired in October. Now tonight, Derek will be presenting his own rendition of Who Would Imagine a King? Take it away, Derek.
king, a shepherd or teacher is what you could be, or maybe a fisherman out on the sea, or maybe a carpenter building things. But who would imagine a king? It was so clear when the wise men arrived and the angels were singing his name, and the world would be different 'cause you were alive. That's why heaven stood still to proclaim. One day an angel said quietly that soon he would bring something special to me, and all of the wonderful gifts he could bring. Oh, who would imagine? Who would imagine? Who would imagine a king?
Thank you so much, Derek. That was very, very nice. Now, our next two performers have been a part of the Southern Illinois drag community for many, many years and have performed all over the area. Let's please welcome Holly Hallowell and Fame Lee Jules as they present Liza Minnelli and Alan Cummings' rendition of Baby It's Cold Outside.
I really can't stay.
Liza, it's cold outside.
I've got to go away.
Liza, it's cold outside.
Oh, this evening has been
Hoping that you'd drop
so
in.
very nice.
I'll hold your hands there just like
My sister will be suspicious.
Gosh, your lips look delicious.
My brother will be there at the door.
Waves upon a tropical shore.
My maiden aunt's mind is vicious.
Gosh, your lips are delicious.
Maybe just a cigarette more.
Never such a blizzard.
The neighbors might think.
But Liza, it's bad out there.
Say, what's in this drink?
No cabs to be had out there.
I wish that I knew
Your eyes are
how
like starlight.
to break the spell.
I'll take your hat. Your hair looks swell.
I ought to say no, 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 sir.
If I'm moving close.
At least I'm gonna say that I tried.
What's the sense of hurting my
I
pride?
really can't
Liza,
stay.
don't hold out. Ah, but it's cold
outside. I mean, you do understand, Ellen, I should go.
Yeah. See ya.
Oh, Ellen, you sound angry. You're not angry.
No, I'm not angry. I mean, it's fine. You know, I want you to stay. You want to go. That's fine. Conversation over. I'll see you
No,
tomorrow.
just let me back in.
So you're
I
coming
just
back
want
in
to
now?
talk to you for a minute.
Come on then.
Oh,
Liza,
Ellen.
Liza. I simply must go.
But it's your apartment.
The answer is no.
All right, it's my apartment.
The welcome has been
How lucky that you
so
dropped in.
nice and warm.
Look out the window at that
My mother will start to worry.
beautiful. What's your
And
hurry?
father will be pacing the floor.
Listen to the fireplace.
So really,
roar.
I better scurry.
beautiful, please don't
Well, maybe
hurry.
just a half a drink more.
Put some records on while
I've got to get home.
But baby, you freeze out there.
Liza, lend me a coat.
Ellen, it's up to your knees out there.
You've really been grand.
I feel when you touch my
But
hand.
don't you see?
How can you do this thing to
There's
me?
bound to be talk tomorrow.
Think of my lifelong
At
sorrow.
least there will be plenty implied.
If you caught pneumonia and
Now you can
died,
stay.
get over it, baby.
But
It's
it's cold.
oh, baby, it's so cold.
Cold outside.
Oh, so cold
Liza,
outside. What?
Stop showing off.
I'm not showing off. I was just trying to give it a little
Everyone
balance.
knows you can say it's cold.
Well, baby, I say that it's cold outside. Swap, boot, and doo-doo.
Let's once again give it up for Holly Hollowell and Fame Lee Jules. Now, before we continue on with the rest of our show, we would like to take a moment to recognize some local businesses who purchased ad space in our playbills for our last season. Now, due to the coronavirus shutdown, we were unable to feature these ads in our programs for our last couple of shows for last season, so we thought it would be a good idea to feature them now. So we'll be back in just a bit with more of our holiday showcase. Now please, welcome to the stage Elise Wheaton, Caitlin Bruno, Hannah Borowitz, and Samantha Ridenauer as they present an a cappella rendition of the familiar holiday classic, I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Dum 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 dum. I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams, my darling. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams.
Weren't they great together? That was a great performance. Thank you. Now, coming up next, we have, well, wait, who's up next? Well, I think it's you, Brandon. Christmas tree says it's me. Guess I better do what it says. Anyway, coming up next, I'll be singing a version of Mary Did You Know? I hope you enjoy.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you've delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nation? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? The sleeping child you're holding is the great I am. Ooh, Mary, did you know?
Wasn't that great? Thank you, Brandon. That was awesome. You're such a good singer. Hey, what is going on? While I get this Christmas tree back where it belongs, let's join Steve Falcone one more time for another one of his holiday stories. Take it away, Steve.
This piece is called How High Can Santa Fly? I like to drink, it's no secret. Been drunk more times than I care to count. Drunk twice in one day on a rare occasion. But there's only one time I can recall being drunk and sober 3 times in a 24-hour span. The day I played Santa Claus on the Block. Began once again with Johnny McMahon, imbued with Christmas spirit. Knocked on my door with a bag full of toys and candy in one hand and a Santa suit in the other. Let's give Christmas to the kids. You be Santa, I'll be your helper. So I was, and he was, and we did. It was a party that started fast and tapered off quickly. Such fun to watch kids that we knew but they didn't recognize me get bug-eyed over a toy truck or a box of candy canes. The parents were properly grateful and reciprocated with holiday cheer. Here, there, and everywhere. Cheer, cheer, cheer. Though things began to blur, I was able to keep my persona intact, even when some little brat came at me clawing with both hands. You ain't no real Santa. That's a fake beard. He got a few fingers in my whiskers before I shoved them away, and Johnny swung the bag at him as he ran cackling down the street. On that note, we adjourned for lunch. Johnny may have eaten, I plopped headfirst into my pillow, only to be rudely roused by Mom with news that my helper was at the door. Somebody get that kid a life, I may have grumbled, stumbling from my workshop for another round. By the afternoon shift, I was steady, if still fuzzy around the edges. A fact that went unnoticed as we entered Billy Boylan's house, where his old man was kicked back on a ratty couch with springs popping out, 3 sheets to the wind. As usual, a few barflies were gathered around the open Jameson bottle, anointing me the soberest guy in the room after the clear-eyed elf beside me. Many drunken chuckles later, we were on our way. The quick kiss on the cheek from Billy's shapely mother. The Yuletide began to shine brighter. It got a lot brighter at our next stop, the Ginty household, home of the 3 most beautiful girls for miles, Carla, Jenny, and Nona, or Nona, as we lads used to croon as she swayed by. Mr. Ginty was an alderman who had gotten Nicky and me out of several scrapes, good man that he was. He believed in us, even though he knew us well. The house was in holiday spirits, cups of which were going round as toddlers played about the tree. Doing his Irish duty, Mr. G led us lads into the kitchen for a shot of manly cheer. Then back to the living room, where toys were bestowed upon the children, as Santa playfully asked Carla if she'd been a good girl. To my surprise, she hopped onto my lap, eager to plead her case. Oh, I have, Santa, very good indeed. Fingers tickling my beard. Good enough for a diamond necklace, though a bracelet would do just as well. I don't want to be a greedy little piggy. Jenny, me, I'm next. And one golden girl was swapped for another. Jenny, I'll take whatever's left from Carla's haul. I'm used to getting hand-me-downs. A chorus of hoots rang round the room as glasses clinked in twinkling measure. My grin was huge, my heart racing. I thought I might pass out. Thank God I didn't, for my lap was next filled by the divine torso of Nona. Her sky-blue eyes twinkled with mischief, but her words came out most solemn. It's wonderful what you're doing here, Steve. I'm sure your mom's proud of you. We all are. I don't want anything more than the joy in my niece's smile. In fact, I've something for you. With that, she kissed me. Not a peck on the cheek, but a full-on lip lock that reduced the Christmas patter to a chorus of ohs, as if Johnny'd gone stereophonic. That was enough for Mr. G. Ever the gentleman, he rose and escorted me toward the kitchen door, the rear exit. You've done a great job, Steve. Let's not spoil it for the kids. Santa ho 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 toward home once more. Visions of Ginty girls wiggling, manicured fingers and giggling, tinkled laughter danced in my head as I sank into bed, my pillow exuding feminine scents that drugged me to sweet dreamland. But the day was not over, not by a long shot, or even a couple of short ones. I was once again untimely ripped from my slumber by my mother, no less. Aunt Helen and Uncle Chick are here, dear. Everyone's asking for you. It's Diane's birthday, remember? Who? Oh, yeah. My younger cousin had the piss-poor timing to be born on Christmas Day. Upstaging the baby Jesus never seemed like a good idea to me. Diane was an only child to boot, and we were her big cousins, a.k.a. the age group needed to give her party vibe a boost. Down the wooden stairs I lumbered, to be handed a rolling rock by my ever-smiling Uncle Chick before I hit the landing, to be greeted with a kiss on the cheek from Aunt Helen. Everything else was pretty much a blur of voices gathered around a cake singing Happy Birthday off-key, as Diane popped the leather of the brand-new baseball glove her folks had given her. She loved the game and forever claimed that her big cousins had taught her how to play it. One more memory not deposited in my bank, but a red suit day overall with yours truly in and out of delightful dizzy consciousness, high on the day without even a sleigh.
Oh, we're back. Well, did you guys enjoy Steve's story? Great. It's always such a pleasure to hear from him. So coming up next, we're going to join two more of our friends from John A. Logan College. So please, let's welcome John A. Logan College Choral Director, Carlin Zimmerman, and John A. Logan College Applied Music Instructor, Arlene Tranzu, as they sing a beautiful rendition of Joy to the World, accompanied by Paul Tranzu on piano. Take it away.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive a King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, the Savior reigns. Let all their songs employ, while fields and flowers, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love. Repeat the sounding joy, let heaven and nature sing. Sing joy, joy, joy to the world, joy to the world. The Lord is come.
Now, the Jackson County Stage Company would not be where it is today without the help of our incredibly generous donors. Donations are one of the main sources of income for the stage company and have allowed us to continue bringing top-notch theatrical productions to the Southern Illinois community over the past 39 seasons. Even though we haven't been able to produce live shows this year due to the coronavirus shutdown, the donations that we received this year have helped us to purchase new technical equipment, have helped us to purchase gift cards to support local businesses during these difficult times, and are helping us to bring you virtual productions such as this one. At this time, we'd like to take a minute to recognize and thank all of our incredible donors for this year.
Hi, everybody. Jeff Kiesler-Bird here, Secretary with the Jackson County Stage Company. I just want to come in, take a second to wish everybody a Merry Yule, a blessed solstice, and a happy holiday season. Here's to a brighter 2021.
Hi, I'm Elise. I'm the box office coordinator for the Stage Company. I would like to wish everybody a very happy holiday. Please stay safe, stay warm, and stay hopeful.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Alley, the house manager for the Stage Company. We miss seeing you all at the theater and hope to see you next year, but we wish you a happy and safe holiday season.
Hi, everyone. My name is Todd Brown, and I'm the PR coordinator for the stage company. And I want to wish you a happy holidays, Merry December, stay safe, and stay happy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susan McLaren, the president of the stage company. We all miss you here, and we're looking forward to seeing you next year. But in the meantime, please have a happy holiday season.
Hi, I'm Clinton Inman. I am publications coordinator for the stage company. I just wanted to drop in and say happy holidays.
Before we continue on with the rest of tonight's virtual holiday showcase, we want to take just a minute to inform everyone about our upcoming stream production of Lauren Gunderson's The Revolutionists, directed by Elise Pineau. This hilarious production follows 4 women who lose their heads in this irreverent girl-powered comedy set during the French Revolution's reign of terror. This grand and dream-tweaked comedy is about violence and legacy, art and activism, feminism and terrorism, compatriots and chosen sisters, and how we actually go about changing the world. Now, due to COVID-19 restrictions regarding crowds in theaters, we unfortunately are not allowed to have a live audience in the theater for this production. However, this will still be a fully staged production with scenery, lighting, and costumes that will be streamed and available to watch online. We'll have more information and detailed instructions on how you can purchase tickets in the very near future. But for now, mark your calendars for February 5th through 7th and 11th through 14th, as those are the dates that this production will be available to watch online. Now, for more information about The Revolutionists and all of Stage Company's other upcoming events, please follow us on Facebook at Stageco Carbondale or visit our website at www.stagecompany.org. Now, let's continue on with tonight's virtual holiday showcase as Caleb Triplett performs You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel.
You're as cuddly as a cactus and as charming as an eel, Mr.
Grinch.
You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. Just face the music, you're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You got garlicky soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. When you ask the who's who of Whoville, there's no denying. You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. You've got termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between you, I'd take the seasick crocodile.
Thank you, Caleb. That was very destructive. Thanks to you, our Christmas tree here will never be the same again. Good job, though. Coming up next, we have Caitlin Bruno. Now, you may remember Caitlin from earlier tonight when she performed a rendition of I'll Be Home for Christmas with Sam Ridenauer, Elise Wheaton, and Hannah Borowitz. Well, this time, Caitlin is back solo, performing the Christmas song. So please, welcome back to the stage, Caitlin Bruno.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe helps to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you, Caitlin. That was really, really beautiful. Now, if you don't recognize our final performer this evening, then you really have not been around the stage company for the past 30 plus years. Craig Hind is one of the original founding members of the stage company. And tonight, Craig will be presenting what is probably the most famous Christmas poem known. So please, welcome Craig Hind as he reads A Visit from St. Nicholas, or as it is more commonly known, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
There are many who have claimed authorship of the poem commonly called 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, but the one I find most valid is Clement Clark Moore, and he titled the piece A Visit from St. Nicholas. Moore was born in 1779, in the middle of the Civil War. His parents were from New York City, which of course was expanding rapidly at that point. He received 3 degrees from Columbia College there, and he was married in 1813 to a Catherine Elizabeth Taylor. They had 9 children. Moore wrote several books on a wide variety of subjects over the years and also included poetry. In 1822, he said he wrote the poem and read it to his children for the first time at Christmas. It was first published anonymously, but then a few years later he included it in a book of his poetry by his name. So, A Visit from St. Nicholas by Clement Clark Moore. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap, when out of the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. And what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew at a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As leaves that before the wild hurricane fly when they meet with an object mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
Thank you, Craig, for not only contributing that poem to us this evening, but for everything that you have contributed over the years to the Jackson County Stage Company to make it the successful theatrical organization that it is today. We literally could not have done it without you, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to draw our evening to a close. We hope that you've enjoyed everything that you've seen this evening. And if you would like to know more about what the Stage Company has coming up, you can check out our Facebook page by searching Stageco Carbondale, or go to our website at www.stagecompany.org. On both of those places, you'll find information about all of our upcoming events and activities. So check it out. Once again, everyone, my name is Brandon McGee, and I'm the Vice President for Productions at the Jackson County Stage Company. On behalf of the rest of the members of the Jackson County Stage Company Council, as well as the Stage Company General Membership, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We hope you enjoyed everything, and we hope you have a great rest of your holiday season. Thank you.